Well, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Deerfield Select Board Board of Health and Sewer Commissioners meeting for November 15th, 2025. Excuse me, November 12th, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. This is a hybrid meeting, both on Zoom and in the main meeting room here in 8 Conway Street, South Deerfield. This meeting will be held in a hybrid fashion with the opportunity for both in-person attendance and remote participation. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting or hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. The meeting will be held in person in the main meeting room of Deerfield Municipal Offices. In accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, anyone intending to record the meeting must identify themselves to the clerk and provide their name and address for the record. Call the meeting to order. Got a fairly light agenda other than a sewer rate hearing. So first we'll have public comment. Anybody have anything they'd like to say that's not on the agenda?
Charlene.
Charlene, see your hand up. Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me? Because I'm
Yeah.
having trouble here. Oh, okay, good.
Yes, I can. Yep. I'll try to
Now
speak
it's
louder.
better. Now it's better.
Yep.
I just wanted, I sent a few emails out to the board, and there is a law, or there's a potential passage of a bill concerning the pilot program that I know we've had a lot of discussion with in the town for the last few years. And apparently there was a hearing already on October 6th or the 7th, which then signals 53 days following that date, you can submit testimony as to why you feel this bill should be passed. And I'm hoping that the town's the select board will consider putting together either a task force or an ad hoc committee to really do some significant research into why this pilot program would be really helpful to the town of Deerfield. I know I've talked to a few people, and they're more than excited to serve on something like this, but I assume it would have to be a town initiative by the select board. But I really hope that something is done, because it seems like there's a lot of talk, and this is an actual bill that's being presented by, I believe, 2 legislators from the Middlesex area and 1 from Worcester. And this is like the 3rd or 4th attempt that I could find on my research showing that there was any effort toward pilots. So that's my comment for today, and I'd love to have it put on the agenda if it should become a possibility, and then more comments could be made, because I know you can't have a discussion with public comment, but it's just, I wanted to put it out there as a feeler, as something that I think the town's ready for it. I'd love to see people who aren't on any of the committees that have shown a significant interest to be placed on a committee of this type. And honestly, I know the people I've talked to would do more than their homework to get the facts. I've actually gone online and started to look at things, and I'm rather surprised at some of the findings that I didn't know about. So just a feeler out there to consider for maybe the next agenda or a future agenda. The problem is this bill, within 53 days, although that testimony has to be received, and then the whole process of becoming a bill starts to take place. So I know it can't be done in 53 days, but at least it's a beginning process for the town of Deerfield.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for your comment. We'll take that under advisement for sure. Any other comments? Anybody online or in the audience? No? Okay. Great. All right. So we'll move on to the hearing. We have a FY 2026 sewer rate hearing. So I'll read the hearing and we'll open that. So there's a sewer rate public hearing. The Deerfield Select Board, acting as sewer commissioners, will hold a public hearing during their regularly scheduled meeting, November 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. and set the FY 2026 sewer rates. Sewer rate documents are on file for public review at the municipal offices during office hours and on the town's website at www.deerfieldma.us. Meetings are being held in a hybrid fashion with the opportunity for both in-person attendance and remote participation. For purposes of in-person attendance, the town of Deerfield will host the meeting in the main meeting room, Deerfield Municipal Offices, 8 Conway Street, South Deerfield, Mass. And remote participation was posted on that as well. So we'll call the hearing to order and first kind of discuss a little bit about where we are. I can kind of go over the numbers a bit and then we'll open it up to conversation here and take public comment as well. So each year we need to kind of set our sewer rates, and they're usually kind of done in the fall here, and we're usually kind of midway between our fiscal years when we set the rate. So it gets a little confusing. And sometimes revenue really depends on when we get the sewer rate, sewer usage or water readings so that we can then send out bills. And so certain times of the year, and we rely on other people to get data to us so that we can kind of get our revenues done. So the FY25 approved budget at the annual town meeting was $2,207,137. And I'm not sure if can we share this up on the screen? I don't know if anyone has that. If not, no worries. But I just wanted to make sure people had a ability to look at this. So the actual collected FY 2025 sewer use revenue was $2,076,870. We had an anticipated FY 2025 usage of 74,053,666 gallons. That's kind of what we estimated we were going to have, and our actual final usage was a little bit higher. It was 79,079,739 gallons that were billed for usage. Let's see, FY 2025 year-end retained earnings as of June 30th, 2025 was $989,568. We try to keep about a year's worth of operating cost in retained earnings, because you can, especially in a sewer entity, you can burn through that pretty quick if something goes wrong. So FY 2025, this is just kind of looking when we set the rates last year, for FY 25 in October 2024, we had set the service fee, which is a per biannual billing. So we bill twice a year. So it's $150 was our service fee. And then we have a minimum usage charge, which is billed twice a year as well, same billing periods, of $100. So that means for people who just really don't use much water at all, maybe a single senior in a home with very minimum water usage, there's a minimum charge that's if they don't reach that over 1,000 gallons of usage in a billing cycle is $100. And then the rate that we set last year was $23 per 1,000 gallons of water usage. And so so we're looking at the expenses that we set at annual town meeting for the year. We had salary and wages of $485,496. We had an operating expenses of $766,800. We have a debt service because now we're paying the debt on the about $22 million project that we did. Again, we had some grants and other things, but the debt that we're servicing is not that large, but it was a big project to overtake. Then we have an indirect cost, which any enterprise fund like our senior center and the South County EMS have an indirect cost, which means just it's the cost that the town bills those entities for, access to a lawyer, central office work, any kind of thing like that. So our enterprise fund has a charge of $86,500, and the operational reserve. So we keep some money set aside, mainly because we had to have some money set aside specifically based on the USDA loan that we had. That whole program required us to have around $41,000 in operational reserve. So the total expenses for FY26 are $2,199,618, and then our revenues will add up to the same amount. We have the sewer user fees, which is $2,094,618. We would take $100,000 from our retained earnings and put it towards that, and then we have some investment income funds that we have set aside, earn interest each year. So $5,000 from investment income. So that also totals the $2,199,618, and that's just to run the plant, both plants. We have a plant in South Deerfield, which is the large workhorse, and then we have our Old Deerfield plant. So that's the cost to run both plants, the expenses, the operating expenses, the salary, the debt service on the loans, and any reserve that we have. So if we, to meet that obligation, and if we keep the proposed service fee of $150 and the minimum usage fee at $100, like we did before, we would have no change from last year to raise enough money to meet the $2,199,618. We would set the sewer rate at $25.96 per thousand, and that would be an increase of around 12.9%. We had a couple of other options we were looking at because we've been putting off some maintenance that we need to do to our infrastructure, not only kind of at plants, but we have all the collection systems, all the pipes in the ground, and manholes and all of that. So we've been looking at a project for the last 3 or 4 years on Eastern and Cross. Those are areas that still need either lining of a pipe or complete replacement, where digging up the pipe and replacing it because it's too far gone to line, and then some manhole work and that kind of thing. So we have some project that we've been putting off. We haven't done it. If we wanted to raise enough money to cover the engineering for that, we would have to go to $26.84 per thousand. And then the other option is we still have our effluent pipe out to the river needs to be repaired. It's still been broken. We have been searching for grant money, trying to find other ways to kind of fund this. It hasn't happened yet, but if we wanted to roll in some engineering, again, just engineering, not replacement, but the engineering to do that project, we would have to raise the rate to $29.28 per thousand. We just looked at kind of options. We're also looking at right now evaluating the Old Deerfield plant and kind of doing that project in phases, but we're not anywhere near ready to put a number on that stuff yet. So we have not put it in this matrix to look at options. So that's kind of where we're set right now, and I'd love to kind of open it up to the board or the public or anybody that would have questions on this, and then we could kind of discuss it a little bit. Go ahead.
I did get it up on the screen for you.
Oh, wonderful.
It was, yeah, the TVs were a little slow and
No
clunky, so
worries.
I didn't want to guarantee it, but
Yep,
there.
that's
So
fine. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, so if anyone, has any questions, I'm happy to answer those. And then I'd love to hear from the board as well, the other commissioners, and what they think on where we're at or what we'd like to do.
Hey, Trevor.
Oh, please, yes, come up to the mic and just state your name and where you live, and street's fine. We don't need a whole address, but.
Good evening, John Cunningham from Gormaki Avenue.
Welcome.
First of all, I think the analysis is great. The numbers are good. I only have 2 issues. Well, they're not really issues. They're comments, I guess.
Yeah.
First of all, the $150 flat fee, as I said last year, I think you should zero that out,
Mhm.
put that collection into the per gallon, because as it is now with a flat fee, the lowest user pays the highest amount per gallon. The highest user pays the lowest amount per gallon because it's a fixed fee spread over 1,000 gallons or a fixed fee spread over 20,000 gallons.
Mhm.
And I think if you want to encourage people to be conservative with water, you don't encourage them to pay cheapest for the most water. And so it's a regressive fee. I think it should be zero and should collect your revenue based on the use of water by the members.
Are you speaking of the 100 or the 150?
150. It's
The-
150.
The service fee, just
Yeah,
the-
the service
to
fee.
be connected to
Zero
the
is the
system.
service fee,
Uh-huh.
put it in the per gallon calculation so that it's fair across everybody who uses every gallon.
Yeah.
Don't charge more to the people who use the least water and
Yep.
give a biggest break to the people who use the most water.
Mhm.
Anyway, I said that last year.
Great comment.
Say it
Thank you.
again.
Yep, still there.
Second, just lesser importance, I think you should express the rate per gallon, 2.3 cents per gallon or whatever, instead of $29 per 1,000 gallons. A, it looks better, and B, I don't think you round off to the nearest 1,000 gallons when you charge me my bill. I think you go to the actual gallons and multiply.
Yeah.
So it just would be clearer and easier to say 2.3 or 2.9 cents per gallon
Mhm.
instead of $29 or $23 per 1,000 gallons.
Okay.
I don't understand the logic of doing it your way.
Yeah.
That's it. I think you're doing a great job,
Thank you.
and hopefully you'll
Good
consider
comment.
those
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, thank you, for sure. Justin, I know you're here as well. Justin Skelly's here from our, from DPC, David Prickett. And just wanted to, did you have was there I know, is it common to have a service fee? Is it, of the 150? Do you see most towns doing that, or is there a reason we should kind of just roll that into the rate and not worry about it? I know it generates a certain amount of money, and it's kind of a basic kind of charge for anybody on, but just curious.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I mean, the hardest thing with water and sewer rates is everybody does it a little bit differently, whether it's, per 100 cubic feet of water or per 1,000 gallons of water, all these things being thrown around. I mean, the logic behind the communities that do have a service fee is that, there is, to your point, Trevor, a fixed cost of just having the infrastructure in the ground, running the utility, that regardless of, how much water an individual user might use, there is still a cost of just upkeeping, the utility and the service to that customer. So again, I've seen communities have service fees, minimum usage charges like you have, and some that don't. So it's really up to the individual community to tailor these to the, suit the needs of their customers. And as we've shown you before, Trevor, sometimes when we'll do these, we'll show you, the impacts on the high end users and the low end users. And it is always a difficult balancing act to, have everybody be very happy and satisfied at the end of these, just given the nature of them. So I guess it's not a firm answer. I wish I could have answered it better, but it's across the board.
Some insight. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments from anyone? Do you have any? Sorry.
I was just going to ask Justin, how are we coming? Eventually, this will end up in the sewer rates. How are we coming on the study of the old Deerfield electrical system, and when could we expect to have some, information?
Yeah, as Trevor said, we're in the early stages of that, so we don't have costs to share, but I do think, the town's team working on looking at the best, most cost-effective approach to the old Deerfield plant. I think your team's looking at it in the right way in terms of the phased approach that Trevor mentioned and going after the highest priority and electrical needs first. So I'm not at a point to be able to kind of give any insights as to how that might impact rates moving forward, but hopefully within the next, by the start of your next fiscal year, we should have more insights into that. So, stay tuned over the next several months here.
I did reach out to Dave a little bit today and asked some info on that, and then I think Chris and I were kind of communicating a little bit. Christopher, our town administrator, was talking a little bit about looking at the bid documents for Eastern and Cross as well, and trying to kind of get our hands around that. I know it's been a little bit of time, and it depends. I think the last time we went out to bid, it wasn't a great time of year to bid for it, but I think we were thinking of sometime over the winter of bidding for it. So I know Christopher's kind of working on, he may have talked with you a little bit about it, trying to get that underway. See what the bids might come again.
One of the things that I saw that was a positive, I believe it was Ashfield, got a 240 some odd thousand grant for electrical work at their sewer plant.
Yes.
And I'm looking at this, why I'm interested in getting this portion of the study done. I think we've asked them for it a while ago, and it would be having a design or a basis for design and a expected anticipated cost. We could go ask our legislators, hey, how about Deerfield?
Yeah, I did see that too. It was nice to see that they were funding some of that because
Yeah.
we're always looking, for grant money for sure. And SRF has not been the greatest program to get money out west, but we keep trying all the time. So, yeah, for sure, we're definitely looking. When I talked to David, I said we're very, very hot for that information, and also on the infrastructure work that they're doing for the asset management plan for Eastern for Sugarloaf and Park Street, just because I know we want to talk with DOT pretty soon about that as well. Charlene, you have a question?
Yes, last year there was an increase also on the sewer rate, which we happen to have two houses that we have to pay that rate on. And they were rather mind-boggling when we received them, and obviously they got paid. And now this year we have another significant increase.
Yep.
What is pushing that increase this year? What is it, salaries for people? Is it infrastructure? What is causing such a big increase?
It's closing on the loans. So we closed on the loans this year. So we're finally got everything into a bond. So the rate should stabilize a bit, other than things that we may want to maintain. But you're always going to have an increase each year for just labor cost and cost of doing business. But the cost of the loans finally closing those, getting out of the bands and solidifying that, I think that might be the jump in, to cover that extra cost. I can't remember last year. I have to pull back the numbers on the debt service. And then I think the other issue too we'll probably see a little bit of leveling off next year is because we rely on the water department to give us water readings. We weren't able to collect the revenue into this fiscal year when we closed out, because it happens kind of at the end of the closeout of the year, and if we don't get the bills out early enough, we're not able to collect the money and put it into our fund. So we do have money kind of coming in a little later. So that's kind of why I think my recommendation will be with the lower one and not increase this and try to roll in engineering for the Eastern and Cross right now, because I think that by the time we look at the revenues that come in that can be posted to this year, we'll have a little bit of a cushion, because we didn't collect half of the money that we should have because of the timing. And I wish there was an easier way or a better way where we could bill for our sewer other than relying on water usage, because again, the water department is not part of the town. We're grateful for them to give us the numbers, but we're always waiting on them to be able to get that work done and pass it over to us. And that's how we kind of calculate what the bills are going to be. But if we don't get that money in time and get the bills out in time, then the money doesn't hit our checkbook until later. So I think that we're covering some of that cost of not having that revenue in this rate. And I think you'll see that kind of come down a little bit or level off, because we'll have, that money posted to our account in this billing cycle or this year. Talking with Brenda about that. so I think it's a combination of a couple things. It's the loan, kind of finalizing that and setting the rates and having a steady kind of rate now, and payment for our debt service. And then two, not having the money this year in there that we're expecting or should have been in this year.
And then just a question, I'm not sure if it's happening, but since the Old Deerfield plant is servicing most of the nonprofits, with some private citizens being a part of it, is there an effort to work with the nonprofits to see about some kind of assistance being done?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that in place, or is it a thought that you might be
Oh,
doing?
no, it's in place, and they've been really great. They paid for a study on their own to look at an alternative option last year. They're ready and willing to help, but it's just a matter of kind of, over the last year, we decided to kind of, instead of going all hog in and doing the whole thing at once, we thought, let's tackle the most important things first, which is electrical, and do it in like a 3-stage project over a few years so that we could set, everyone would have an expected amount that they would have to pay in. And I think that, at least just speaking for DA, they could have a more solid plan going forward on what the total cost would be and have their discussions with their board of trustees to kind of understand. But I know that they are willing to help and they want to help, and they do understand that a large part of it is, Eagle Brook, DA, Bement, and a lot of the, historic Deerfield, just a lot of the properties that are serviced by that plant, and very few residences. So they recognize that, and they are willing to help. So there is continued conversation over the last several years on that. We're just kind of narrowing down a plan that we all agree with. So yes, for sure, they're
Okay.
going to step up to help.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing that we always tell the nonprofits push back and say we're subsidizing the South Deerfield plant, and I always point out to them, no, you're paying the rate you have to pay because we have one district that has 2 plants, and we have not done the work on the older plant, but when we do, that will be shared because it's one district. And we definitely are working. Whenever we talk about this with them, we're going to expect you to kick in significant amount of help on this. So that's why I was pushing DPC to get this first phase. We've been talking about this electrical system upgrade for quite some time. And I know we awarded a contract several months ago. So I'd like to see it move more expeditiously if we could.
Yep. Any questions you have?
No, I just said I think what the reason for going with the lower percentages and what's going to happen with this is that some of the projects with the infrastructure, not necessarily the plants themselves, are going to be put on hold. Like I say, engineering costs, that sort of thing. So it's something we're going to have to plan for the future. Right now, we have to see if we can get the debt squared away and again, get the Old Deerfield plant squared away. But the pipes in this town are fairly old, so there's going to be some replacement, and there might be even some emergency replacements that we have to do. So again, we're trying to get it back into a healthy situation.
And DPC has completed all the field work for the asset management plan for a lot of the South Deerfield area. So we should have, pretty soon we'll have the reports back to us, and we'll have an idea of kind of worst case where we need to go first on some of this and try to build a capital plan going forward, working with Matthew on that. Just kind of like what he's doing with the sidewalk asset management, trying to figure out, do the same with this stuff. So yeah. Any other questions from anybody? No. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Any further discussion on closing? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Okay, just to deliberate, what do you think? Where do you guys think you'd like to stay with that lower, basic rate to cover it this time, or?
Yeah, I think that, again, like I was saying before, that we should try to make sure that we stabilize what we have already and then worry about getting into the other phases that we need to work in, and at least give us some time to start having a better discussion on how we're gonna proceed with all of this.
And I agree with Blake about, I'd like to see all of the engineering work that we've got out there
Completed.
completed, have the reports on the Eastern and Graves. I guess that's future.
Yeah,
I mean, we did it once before.
Yeah,
We know that we
We-
can line
it's
some of the
minimal.
pipes
Yep,
and we have to dig
exactly.
up some of the pipes.
yep,
So I definitely think, you know, we should wrap up all the engineering that we're paying for and far enough in advance so that we can see what we're going to do next year.
yeah,
And I know this question has come up before. In the 25% that non-users like myself and
Mhm.
Trevor and Blake, you probably are a non-user up on River Road. That's part of the overall calculus of, you know, paying for the loans.
Mhm.
So even though it's
Yep.
not broken out, it's something that's handled by the accounting department.
yes. Yeah, and I kind of feel, so I've been really wanting to tackle Eastern and Cross because we've held off on paving a portion of that. But I feel comfortable enough with, again, the revenue that will come in from the mist, collection of last year. I think that we can be, safe enough to kind of do the basic coverage of our expenses right now with the rate that we have, and then visit it again later in the year to say, do we have enough revenue coming in that we could cover, the Eastern and Cross with current revenue and not have to raise the rate to do that? And again, get all the data, as you said, get it all in front of us on all these projects, and really, maybe get a group of us together, as you were talking about, and really kind of focus on where we're going in the future here.
Yep.
moving forward.
I just wanted to add, I mean, you had a really good comment, which is if you stabilize if it's going to stabilize by next year,
Mm.
there's only a 3.8% differential between the bottom two.
Yep.
And so if it is, only a slight increase, that 3.8 could be applied, and it's not such a big hit
That's right.
in 1 year. So
That's right.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, well then I would, if there's any other comments here, I think we would just do some motions. So I would, move to set the service fee and study this in the future here. Set the service fee for biannual billing, and make a motion to set the service fee for biannual billing at $150. Do we have a second on that?
Second,
Any further discussion? All
I
those
guess
in,
maybe we
yeah.
should discuss this
Mhm.
in the future as far as whether we should
Roll it in or
incorporate the
not.
thing and
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yep.
So,
I think so too. Good comment. And then, so all those in favor of that?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. And then, I'll make a motion to set the minimum usage charge per biannual billing period of $100. And need a second?
Second,
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. And then I will make a motion to set the sewer user charge per 1,000 gallons to $25.96 for FY26.
Second,
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. And then I think we should just vote this, the sewer enterprise fund. I'll make a motion to approve the wastewater treatment plant enterprise fund. We have our expected revenues of $2,099,618. We have expected, salaries at $485,496. We have expenses at $807,800. We have debt service at $819,800. $822. We have indirect costs at $86,500, and then we will use retained earnings of $100,000 to zero that out. All those in favor? Or a motion, a second? Do we have a second? Sorry. Thank you. All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchi, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you. 0, 0, 11, 12, 20, 25. Okay. So thank you all very much for that. Any Board of Health comments or discussion? I haven't heard from Ned. Is he?
No, it
he's
just
been
sounds
quiet
like
at
he
the
finished
moment?
up his animal inspections, and
Good.
if that's
Yeah.
what you want to call them.
Yeah, and I think we're getting close to
Yeah, no,
starting
he's-
the restaurant and stuff.
Yeah.
Food inspections will be
Yeah.
we're kicking off.
He's
pretty
moving
good
right
here.
along.
Yep. Okay. I think we're in pretty good shape. I have not heard of any, outbreaks or anything that were going on here, and I think we're all pretty steady, which is good.
I do have a something.
Yeah,
else.
sure.
I had a cousin of mine go into Boston this past weekend, and she had COVID. So
Oh.
she's from Ohio, and she went to Boston and got COVID.
It's
so
still around.
just letting you know,
Yes. Yep.
still there.
Yep. We still do have masks out front, some test kits here and there, and a couple of things. I dropped off some stuff that I had at the house. So, okay.
Yeah, I want to say that we have an epidemiologist who works in Greenfield who reports weekly on what's going on, and there's been some wastewater treatment numbers that are much higher than they have been over the summer.
Interesting.
So
Elevated.
there's also been some question about a couple of the readings, whether they were accurate. So we're working through some back and forth with BioBot, which is a company that does this treatment testing for us. But yeah, it's definitely still circulating. And the other thing is that the vaccination rate has dropped way off. So, we're talking, 13 and 14% vaccination rate,
Wow.
which is,
We were the
herd
highest.
herd mentality or herd immunity is, part of the whole picture of
Right.
whether people get severe illness.
Mhm.
And when people are not vaccinating, you can expect, more
Yeah.
illness.
Yeah. I think we were like around 80 something percent when we did when it first got the vaccines, and we're probably the highest in the state. I think at the time we were really kind of doing very well
Yeah.
for our region, but
Yeah. It's
that's what happens.
yeah.
We might be getting doing the same thing we were doing back then if this thing starts to take
Yep,
off.
yep.
Again, it's not the same strain. it's a
No, it
different
is
strain.
true.
So
And there's always other stuff to worry about. too.
Thankfully, it seems that there has been moderation in the severity,
Yes.
but
Yes.
that's not flus fluctuate too. I mean, you can get a
Absolutely.
very
Yep.
severe flu and suddenly,
Yep.
Anyway.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for October 8th, 2025 for a select board meeting, and October 15th, 2025 for a joint select board and library trustees meeting.
second,
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchi, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you all very much. Thank you for everyone catching up on the meetings, minutes. We've been really doing great. So nice to have those caught up, looking good.
Before we
yeah,
jump
please,
ahead, we
go
didn't
ahead.
do the select board. We did.
Oh, yeah, I'm
workshop.
sorry.
That's
Yeah, I
okay.
jumped right down. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that we have been having preliminary discussions about solar panels for municipal buildings. The town municipal office project is underway, and we have a mechanism to actually install and pay for solar panels on that building without having any recourse to ask the citizens whether they want to spend money, because we have ARPA money left over that we've dedicated to that building. And also to look at solar panels on the library to help us mitigate, the cost of running the building.
Yeah.
We're in early stages, but we will be probably designing requests for proposals for the library to bring to the annual town meeting.
Yeah.
Early projections are that we would be able to offset 50% of the cost of running that building if we install the maximum amount of solar that we could do on the new roof of the new extension.
Yeah.
So
I'm in
we will
favor
have
of
more
that.
to report on that. Just wanted to make people aware that we'll be looking at that.
That makes sense. I think just anything we can do to, you know, mitigate the cost of operating a much larger building, and especially our new building as well. I think that'll be situated great for solar exposure. And, you know, it's expensive to run these buildings. They're much larger because they're newer. They have a lot more, you know, technology in them. But I think it's a smart idea to kind of use, you know, federal grant money we already have to kind of do that on the new building, and then look at ways to pay. I mean, we have a lot of different ways that we could fund the solar panels on the building. We certainly are situated very well with free cash, and we've put some money this last meeting into capital stabilization. But we're in a good position to kind of spend that money wisely to, as you said, to reduce the cost long term. So makes sense to me. It's great. I look forward to hearing more on that. One day liquor license. We have a request from Yankee Candle for this Friday for the tree lighting event. So make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license for Yankee Candle Village for let's see, I have it here, for November 14th for their tree lighting event.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. There's a couple more. So yeah, come out and join. I think that event starts at 5 o'clock, and I think they're open till 8 that night, this Friday. So it'll be fun to do. That to you. We also have a motion. So I'll make a motion to approve a one-day liquor license for Yankee Candle Village for December 4th, 2025, for their Girls' Night Out event. I know they hold that each year, and it's a great event to get out and do that. And this is exciting. It's on the new
So
permit eyes application.
They don't even have a signature page. So if you'll sign the back.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just put it on the back. So
yeah,
you can
we can do that.
just
on
so I've got your
that. Yeah,
signatures
there it
as,
is. Yep, that works.
but it is exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to have that. Is there a way to kind of add a signature page, maybe?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah.
It's still in progress.
Sounds good. Did we vote that yet? I can't remember if we.
The second one?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So made a motion. I was so excited about the permit.
I second it.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye.
There you go.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. There you go, Blake. So then, I guess we're going to pass over the transfer station campaigning policy for the first reading because you're still working on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
so
still
we'll-
working on it.
Yeah, I know that Matthew was doing some work still, so we can wait and do that next meeting. Hold on that. And then, so the EV chargers discussion for pricing rule, current rates are 42 cents for the level 3s and 30 cents for the level 2s. I know that you've done a bunch of research and work. You
Yeah.
want to take over and chat about that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, so I've been looking at the Eversource bills over the last year, and you know, the level 2s have been costing us around $300 to $400 a month, depending on the usage, and the level 3s have been sort of offsetting that anywhere from as low as $350 a month in revenue to upwards of $800 in a good month.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see we're seeing more usage of the level 3s than we are the level 2s.
Yep.
And the level 3s right now are about 10 cents under market rate, which is about 52 cents.
Okay.
And then the market rate for the level 2s is anywhere between 35 cents and 40 cents per kilowatt.
Okay.
So it's really, I mean, it's really up to you. I still think because we're new, we could be a little bit under the market rate at, you know,
Yeah.
48, 50 cents, whatever you guys decide, just to keep an incentive for people to be
Yeah.
using them. But I know, speaking with some of the EV users, that one remarked that it's really about the convenience of it and how quickly it charges.
Right.
And most of the time, they're not even really looking at the rate because they're in a
It's going to be quick.
it's really about
Yeah.
time. And but I think it's nice that if we up it to something that's maybe still just a little under to just keep getting more and more people to use it, then maybe we could go to a market rate next year or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that too, and it will help offset, kind of what we're paying for the others. We're in the black anyways, right? So
Well, one thing that came up recently, we just received a bill for the cloud, so the
Extended.
cloud-based service, as well as extended warranty. So that is going to run us a little bit more. So that's the other sort of impetus for doing this.
to cover, yeah.
Yeah.
You probably have a spreadsheet that shows all this that you could share with us at some point.
Yeah, I mean and it's actually recorded I mean it's in the cloud, so I can print up
Yeah.
the usage and all that pretty quickly.
We
Yeah.
have just about reached I guess at the end of December, we will have reached a full year of level 3.
That's,
Mhm.
yeah,
And
that's
then we'll
correct.
have an annual figure and we can see what the growth of usage. I know that some models also include, and this would help our local people, early in the morning or late at night, the usage is lower, the price is lower.
Oh.
So if you happen to live above Cheswick's Market, for instance, and you have an EV, and you know that at 9 o'clock the rate drops from 48 cents to 40 cents, then you could go over and use it, and it would be a benefit for the local people off the highway. They're just going to come in and use it whenever they need to.
Yeah.
So, do you have a suggested number?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I put in, I thought anywhere between,
No, a number.
well, I mean, if
Oh.
you want to do 50 cents, I think, for the level 3s, I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
It's 2 cents under the market rate, and I think that just provides a little bit of incentive.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're talking about is the charges on our end, they fluctuate, and it depends on, so like some of our level 2s don't, because we chose for a different type of rate. So the delivery rate's different. So in that respect, you're right. I mean, we're going to have to keep sort of monitoring this to see how that usage plays out.
Mhm.
So we charge the same rate no matter what it is, but what we receive in terms of our rate, it
Yeah.
fluctuates depending on the time. So yeah.
So your recommendations for the level 2s to go from 30 cents to 35 cents.
I think that would be market rate. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah. And then the level 3s to go from 42 cents to 50 cents.
That would, yeah.
I think that makes sense too, and that helps kind of offset that. And then, I personally feel like maybe when there's another administration, we'll be back at like trying to grant some of this stuff and upgrade our 2s to 3s, because I think they're going to become obsolete. Just everything does become obsolete. So as you talked about the warranty, maybe a 3-year instead of a 5-year, just to get us past where we're at now, and then we could look at that in the future, because the 3s are just used so much more often.
Yeah,
right?
no, I agree completely. I mean,
Yeah.
the 2s, that's my concern, is that and I know Tim and I have talked about this, that they,
Yep.
how long they're going to be around
It's like the new
when people
iPhone
are
for the current
really
phone.
looking for the level 3s all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the question I had was, and I think we discussed this before, but is there any chance that we can upgrade those 2s to 3s? I know that you have to have a separate power station for them and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a
but I
different
think there might
infrastructure,
be-
but we have the infrastructure at the Leary lot. So, I mean, I think it's
Right.
worth looking into, and also just maybe I can do some research in terms of where the market's going at this point.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and also dependability of the technology. Like Electrify America has got one of the largest networks in the country, but the knock on them is that they're down all the time.
Oh,
And I experienced that driving Chicago recently,
I see.
where you pull in and 4 out of the 5 are not functioning. So we ought to keep that in mind too as we look at it.
It caused one thing that came to mind, which is the Tilton Library. So they have new charging stations. They're level twos, but they're different. They're actually a little bit of a faster charger level two. So that might be where we're going, and maybe that would be the solution in the future for those to upgrade to those. I don't know yet. So
I think they do do they do 44 miles an hour? I mean, upcharge.
yeah, it's a faster upcharge for sure.
Most of the level twos are like 22 miles an hour. And
doubling that.
so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. All right.
So do we have a
So,
motion in a second?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to take the recommendations of our assistant town administrator to set the level two rate to market rate at 35 cents per kilowatt hour, and the level threes to just under market rate at 50 cents per hour. Okay, I'll wait for a second.
Second.
And then discussion of that was that I also wanted to comment that it's not always about like getting the max market rate. I think because what we're also trying to do is get these people off the highway to go buy something at Cheslick's or Leo's Table or any of the other businesses in town, or just spend a little bit of time here and get a little economic development out of it. So I think we've seen that. We certainly are getting people coming in and parking and coming downtown to get a coffee even, or whatever it might be, but just driving business to the center of town with these things are very good. So,
Totally agree.
yeah. Any other comments on this? Otherwise, all those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hilchey, aye.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. And we'll look forward to keeping an eye on it and see where we
Yep.
go. Yep, that's great. Next item is a letter of support for the gravestone repairs to the CPA and CPA application for $8,850. This is a letter of support I'll read to the members of the Community Preservation Commission. The Select Board writes you in support of the Historical Commission's application for $8,850 of CPA funding to have 30 gravestones on Mill River Cemetery repaid by Gravestone Services of New England, LLC. This work is consistent with the Historical Commission's commitment to preserving the town's heritage. As with the previous projects on Sugarloaf Street, Laurel Hill, and Albany Road cemeteries, these repairs will long serve the memories of citizens of our town and preserve its heritage. Sincerely, Trevor McDaniel, Blake Gilmore, Tim Hilchey. I'm in favor of supporting this. Anybody else?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
something that
Great.
we should do. I'd like to.
Yeah.
How do are they basically going to each cemetery and then they're going to
Evaluate.
prioritize on this?
I
How's
think this
actually
is
working?
This is for the one cemetery that they're going to tackle this year at Mill River Cemetery, and I think they've already done some study of what's needed. And went out, I assume, got a bid already for the work. So I think this is just kind of requesting this, and then this will go to annual town meeting, I assume. And so
Yeah, CPA there.
CPA,
CPA, yep.
yeah, first, and then town meetings.
And what do they do with this thing? Is this like broken headstones or is it just, do you? have a
It's a myriad of things. So some of it is clearing lichen and, dark, stains and so forth. Some is actual maintenance of broken. And I'm not sure what this proposal calls for. So
That's a good chunk of them. 30 is a good number.
Yeah,
for
it
this
is.
cost.
My
Yeah.
only question was I was leading to is there some way that they're preserving these so that they're gonna stay for the future? They're not just cleaning them, but they're doing things to preserve it.
Yeah.
And I
believe that's
think
the
that's what
case.
they're doing, but I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, that is the case. And I think the main concern is that they don't want to lose the history, because if the gravestone deteriorates to a point where they don't know who's there
Right.
and they don't know the years,
I
you're
mean-
you're losing a portion of history potentially. So
Part of that would be, like maybe etching the engravings because the engravings are now worn down, so they've
Yeah.
got to redo them to
I
bring them
think
back
that's
to
the case.
where you could see them.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's also some communities have started doing where particularly important gravestones, they put out a replica and they take the actual gravestone and preserve it I'm not sure
Interesting.
that
Yeah.
this is under discussion. I haven't seen the actual
Yeah.
application, but
Okay, so motion to approve the Community Preservation Commission letter of support.
Second,
All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hill, GI.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Okay, and then there's another letter of support, I think, here. This is a letter to submit revised economic development plan of the Commonwealth for approval. So this letter just needs our signature. So the Town of Deerfield Select Board is pleased to submit for your review approval the revised economic development plan effective 2025 for the Deerfield Economic Development and Industrial Corporation organized pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 121C. So this is what we voted at October 29th, that we approved that. And so this is kind of just sending it to the state. So make a motion to approve the letter to,
Second,
okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hill, GI.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. This is, a letter to the Community Assistance Unit of Department of Housing and Community Development. I gotta do one of these. Okay, next item. Get flying through this here.
Appointment.
Yes, we've got, so we have some appointments to SCEMS. So let me just get that letter. So Honorable Board, the South County EMS has recently conducted interviews, and I have extended provisional offers of employment to 2 people, both of whom have demonstrated their ability to start training with our department as they as being on board on the onboarding process. They have passed a fair and selective screening process, and I believe they possess the essential qualities to become successful employees with South County EMS. I hereby request the Deerfield Select Board appoint the following individuals for the stated positions, included the recommended grade and steps for the purpose of compensation. Samantha Chiz is a paramedic with ties to the emergency services community in Franklin County and is highly regarded by current South County EMS providers. She has been provisionally offered a full-time 40-hour-a-week benefited position. Her compensation is recommended at the standard FY26 rate, full-time paramedic grade C, step 2, $32.98 per hour. And Emily Ethier is a paramedic of outstanding reputation in Franklin County. Her compensation is recommended at the standard FY26 rate, per diem paramedic grade C, step 1 at $32.18 per hour. Both paramedics have prevailed in a rigorous interview and thorough background investigation. I look forward to them starting their training and joining our team. Respectfully, Joshua D. Sparks, Chief of Department. So I'll make a motion to approve both Samantha Chiz and Emily Ethier.
Second,
Any further discussion?
I know
Questions,
Emily
comments?
Ethier, and she's been around for a while, and
Yeah.
she comes from her family was in emergency services all the way around, so I think
great.
she's a good candidate. I'm not as familiar with the other one. but,
Yeah. Sounds great. So
Christopher and I met with Joshua Sparks the other day about, this and some other issues, and seems like this will be a good, we lost Tim Drumgoole, so
yes.
having another person of Samantha's caliber will be a good thing for this service.
Sounds good. Okay. All those in favor?
Blake Gilmore, aye.
Tim Hill, GI.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Thank you, and welcome to Deerfield. Or, excuse me, South County EMS, not just Deerfield. Silly. Great. think that's it. Do we have any other business to attend to? Just make sure I'm not missing anything.
I just wanted to say that I think everyone who attended thought that the symposium that was organized by Engage Deerfield was useful to the community.
Excellent.
We had our two legislators, you know, Ashley Randall, Ann Goby, Andrew Bosch from the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts, and Christopher Dunn, talking about the challenges we're facing in the current governmental environment. And I thought it was fabulous.
I did too.
And it's
Great.
it's recorded, so if people weren't able to come, they can view it online. And
It's worth watching.
yeah,
It was worth
definitely,
watching.
definitely was. And just a reminder that 4 of the 6 panelists will be walking with me on Tuesday next week,
Yes.
the
Monkey
25th actually, to raise money for our neighbors and who have need of food assistance. So
Yes. Thank
um,
you for doing that. And I agree. It was an amazing turnout. It was a great topic, and it's nice to see our legislators are listening. It was really heartfelt comments, and you could see it affects them, and they're really taking to heart those comments and are working to find ways to mitigate, a lot of the damage that's being done at the moment. So
And Ashley Deerfield,
Yeah.
5th generation farmer, is the commissioner of the state agricultural resources department, and
Yep.
is doing a great job.
Yep.
So
we're very lucky.
yeah.
Very lucky to have these people representing us. And the food bank is doing amazing work. And, community action in Greenfield is always taking food. I've, been seeing that across from Pella. There's a big need, but they're open. They've got freezers, so they'll take food if you want to drop off any donations. And then again, with everybody walking in Monty's March, it's a great way to support.
Yeah,
our
it just
neighbors.
occurred to me that, John Pachork Sr. and Sharon Pachork are on a weekly basis, helping to get
Yes.
food to needy people, and
They are.
we forget to mention them, but
Yeah.
really
Thank
wanna
you.
thank them for that.
Yes, they do. They constantly are moving food around to people, and it's an excellent triad.
That's also true of the senior center. I mean,
Yes.
the
Yep.
brown
Yep.
bags and that sort of thing, that
Absolutely.
type of thing, too.
Yep.
So
There's a
We've
huge,
got a good, strong source to help the neighbors that are out there.
absolutely, yeah. What is our next meeting? Are we,
Next week.
what are we doing 2 in a row for? Take it.
Holidays.
Yeah, I know. So the 19th, okay, yep.
You're the chair. You can
That's
always
right.
pull rank.
No, we've got to do, because we'll have a joint planning board meeting, I think, that night as
Yeah.
well, because I think we have one of the members is
Oh, right.
definitely
Yes.
down there,
Yes.
so
yes.
we need to kind of
Yep.
have somebody in their spot
Temporarily.
temporarily.
Yep.
Yep,
I'm
just
happy with
until
that.
the election. Yep. Okay, all those, I guess that's everything. Thank you for
Oh,
everything.
just the only thing I would point out is, just one thing to announce is the library's opening, which was a
Oh,
kind
right.
of big news. So I just, you
When-
guys
I
might
did
want
not
to
know.
mention that.
When is the opening? And
It's closing on the 19th, and to prep
over there.
from the temporary space, and it will be opening on January 3rd on the first floor. It'll take them that much time to get everything moved in and
The month,
organized.
yeah.
And there's 2 holidays in between, so
Right.
well, 3 actually. New
Yeah.
Year's,
Yeah.
forgot about New Year's.
Yes, and all the
That's
others.
exciting.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
got a temporary certificate of occupancy, so they're
That's
moving
right.
right along. And
Is there an update on the elevator, or do we? Is it-
not as of now. Christopher might
sure.
know something about that, but we're
Yeah.
keeping our fingers crossed that.
As of the timeline they gave us, it means they're only gonna be open for about a month before that elevator's in. 'Cause
Well,
They said February.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that was optimistic, and I
Yeah.
think it's now trending more towards April.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And I
soon-
didn't know if you
soon
guys
to
wanted
give
to-
somebody a break. They're gonna take it.
I didn't know if you wanted to mention the Elm Street. I mean, I know it's been, it's been out there, but
Yes, yeah,
know.
that's true. We should. Thanks to Alex Galloway and our wonderful staff here, we were awarded how much?
$1 million.
$1
A
million.
million.
And,
Wait, say that again. How much was
$1 million.
$1 million. Yeah, was that was the Mass Works grant, correct?
Yes.
And that is to kind of redo Elm Street, which is sorely needed. And I know we've been working a lot on design. Alex has been doing a great job kind of laying all that out. And we have, we see the big, I haven't been in center of town yet, but that arm is just sitting at
I
Cumbies waiting
know.
to crush.
Yeah,
I
that,
think people are going to be excited. I know a lot of kids want to watch that come down. So
I think they're getting ready to demo. Haven't received their permit yet, but
kids of all
they're getting
ages
close. Yeah.
want to see that thing
Yeah.
come down.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, some good things happening. We
Yep.
have I know we're planning, I think it's November, November 20th, we're going to have a town common committee meeting, which has been sorely lacking for several years as we've been kind of stymied on a lot of things. But yeah, we're going to kind of get that up and running again. I know Alex is working on that. And so it'll be good we got a lot going on still in town, and it's exciting to see, money coming to Deerfield to do this work. So
Absolutely. You know, somebody said the other day that $1 million wasn't much, but I'll take it. And Elm Street has been in need of repair for a long time, and combining that with our sidewalk grant, hopefully the downtown's going to look really beautiful.
yeah,
Gumby's gone, the roads, no potholes, the
Yeah.
sidewalks, no potholes.
Yeah.
The other thing is that Hillside,
oh,
the east side of Hillside is being worked on where they've ground the pavement up and they're gonna
oh, good.
resurface that.
Yeah.
It's already been ground down, so
That's
that should be
great.
done probably by the end of the week. I'm
Yeah, I
thinking.
know they're trying to get done some of this stuff before the asphalt plants
Right.
close. They usually close around
But,
Thanksgiving or just
The washboard is gonna disappear after this.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty good.
that'll be great.
Yep.
That'll be great. I know there was a water main break in the usual spot over by the sand pit, but I assume they've got that tied
Yeah, I
up
think they're
again
good, yeah.
until the next time.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but there's some spot there that's just not conducive to staying connected. But anyways, thank you all very much. Thank you online for joining. It was so nice to have you here. Thank you for the audience. So, all right, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor?
Billy Gilmore, aye.
Tim LGI.
Trevor McDaniel, aye. Have a good night, everyone.